Cody Collier, hey man, thanks for tuning in and helping me with the Kenda 9 Hours of Havoc. Man, what an exciting deal. Not everybody knows about the race. I apologize to you ahead of time. We missed our pre-race and it was solely my fault. I apologize for that. I was hoping that we could have done that because I wanted to give a little bit more media attention to the race. I don't think it gets the coverage that it should. You know, tell me a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, no, all good, dude. No, it just didn't work out for us. So, no, it's a really cool event. It's probably my favorite event I go to every year. This is the fourth year that they've had it. It's just a 9-hour team race with 3 riders, one quad per rider. They have an Ironman class, and Jeremiah Wolf's done that every year, and he's won every year, and he does really, really well in it. Yeah, it's awesome event. They have the Heartland Challenge, a 10-hour event. Everybody's heard that one, but we're trying to come up with a more East Coast version with the Kenda 9-hour. It's a lot more technical, a lot more of a true XC.
Okay, so it is technical. So you have to take care of the machine.
Yeah, the first year was gnarly. It was at Tanner Walker's property, and that place was super, super rocky. And we ended up changing to the old high voltage GNCC property. And it's a lot more open and flowy, but there's a lot of technical parts to the property too.
And you have 3 riders, and everybody gets their own machine, or you all share the same machine?
Different machines for your riders. And then if somebody breaks down, you can share a machine, like what happened to one of the pro teams this weekend. We'll get into all that, but yeah, they ended up having a quad go down and had 2 bikes for the 3 riders.
Well, that's not that bad. I mean, what would be the problem with just having one bike for the whole team?
At 9 hours is a lot of abuse. Knowing how fast these guys are riding these machines nowadays. As XC1 guys, I couldn't imagine one quad surviving the whole race. I know Walker Fowler and Devin Feehan, I think it was the first or the second year of the 9-hour, they ran probably 5 or 6 hours on just Devin's bike.
Well, you look at the Baja 1000, it takes one bike 23 hours.
Yeah, it's a lot of high speed, draggy stuff for sure, but it doesn't have like the G outs we're hitting and all that stuff. It's
You obviously haven't been to Baja, have you?
I've been to some best in the desert stuff, but it just the wear on the bike is different.
I would have to agree with that, but you also build a desert bike different. If you were building a true just a 9-hour bike, you would build it differently than you're building something that you're going to take off the XC line and that normally does a 2-hour race. It's going to be a little different machine, I'm assuming.
The only change you'd make is maybe a tuned down motor package. That would be it. Other than that, they all run, the XC1 guys all run the best of the best. So it'd be identical package. Maybe a tire change during the race whenever you're checking your chain, making sure your chain's tight after 9 hours and going through the bike, checking oil and all that stuff. But I think you just run a detuned motor package. That'd be about it.
For the 4x4s, you see any problems with one of those going 9 hours?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, you can barely get them through a 2-hour race.
That's too funny. Tell me a little bit about your team. How many different machines? Were they all the same machine or the same style machine? How did that work out for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, my team is the team Moral Drive. We're back at it. So it's me, Dayton Hickey, and Gavin Jenkins, 2 4x4 pro riders. They were amateur riders the first year that I did it, and I chose them to kind of have a somewhat balanced team. Gavin was A champion that year, ended up becoming the A champion that year, and Dayton was a sport quad guy. And it was just kind of on a whim. It felt right and got him on the team, and here he is a few years later. This is his rookie season in the 4x4 pro class, so I guess he enjoyed it. So he's done it every year with us, and we've done really well every year. We won the 4x4 pro class the last 3 years, and I think we scared everyone away, man. We're the only one the last 2 years. So they just made it one 4x4 pro class, got rid of the pro class, still had a good payout and everything for it. And yeah, it was every single quad on that podium, all 9 riders, 3 teams for 3 riders. They were all Can-Am Renegades, and they were one of them was an Outlander, but They're all Can-Ams, 1000s, 850s, and they were all KMK machines.
Oh, nice. So you guys had a good showing then, huh?
Absolutely, yeah. No, they had a hiccup with one of the quads cutting out a little bit. It seemed to clear itself out, and I don't think any of his riders had any other issues.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. So will you take one of those machines and race it in a regular XC race?
Yeah, I mean yeah. I rode my I rode Gold Digger, my last year's national bike.
Okay.
So it's your XC setup. It's you got to take care of it. Like I said, that property is pretty forgiving as far as wear on the machine. So as long as your front end stayed tight for the 4x4s, just kind of just get through the race. Gavin had an issue with brakes where he had some older brake fluid with how hot it was during the day for us. On his second lap out, he ended up boiling the brake fluid and blowing a corner less than a mile into his lap. And he's like, I need to swap out. So he came back and we lost a couple minutes off rip because of that. But other than that, it's just kind of just take care of the machine for the 4x4. Make sure the front end stays tight and you're not just going bad.
You guys run radios or anything like that?
Nope. You just no, every 2 laps you check in and tag in your teammate, and then you get to talk to everybody else other than that one teammate that's out. So like I tagged in for Gavin. Gavin did his 2 laps. I got to talk to Dayton for a good bit and everybody at the pits, and then Gavin came back in from his brake issue and tagged in Dayton, and then Dayton got going, so I was able to talk to Gavin for a little bit.
What time does it start and what time does it end?
This year it started at 2 and ended at 11. So it started getting pretty dark around 8:39, and it was I got a couple good laps in the dark.
Nice, nice. Do you guys do any light testing? I know that that's not your guys' forte, so is it something that you're getting accustomed to doing? I know you've raced it the last 3 years, so is coming up with a light package difficult for you guys?
No. I asked Mike Seegers, my mechanic at KMK, asked him to get me my light package for the first year, and he got me something and said it was great. And I trust Mike when he says something's good. So we haven't had an issue with light. This year we ran 2 headlights instead of a bar on the handlebars, and it seemed like I lacked a little bit of depth perception at night. But I mean, other than that, we haven't had any issues. All the lights work great. I haven't had no troubles.
That's pretty cool. You know, do you think Kenda is going to keep this thing rolling for more and more years?
I sure hope so. It's a tough event, and I think everybody's just trying to take one last breath before we get back rolling to after summer break for us out here on the East Coast. But yeah, I wish more people would come out to it. It's a great event. We have a strong showing, but it's not as strong as it should be. And yeah, you're missing out if you're not coming to it. Some people don't enjoy the 9 hours, but it's a lot of fun if you just get through it and just do the best you can.
What's the payout like?
It was 6,000 for the pro team, and they had 1,000 for WXC, 1,000 for 4x4, and then it's like $600 for A class at least.
What's the payout at a local?
You're lucky to hit $1,000 for the winner.
Okay, so guys, there you are. And do they normally probably don't pay the WXC that much at a local, I'm sure.
No, not at all. No, and it's kind of that one-off event. So for like pro riders, you can make a really good team, but then you're racing against like the winning team this year was Walker Fowler, Stephen Harrell, and Kevin Yoho. So two strong current XC1 guys and a former XC1 guy that's one of the greatest local riders of all time.
Well, that's a strong team. Who was their best, the best competitor?
They had the Whamco Willies of Wyatt Wilkin, Jay Shadron, and Brandon Owens, another full-fledged XC1 team.
That's no slouch there either.
And so once you get 2 full XC1 teams, there's only a few more of those you can make, and that's kind of your front runner. So you're just kind of battling hoping for issues out of them if you're not an XC1 guy, and if you're trying to run that pro class and get that big money. So I think it's awesome they do the payouts for the other classes. And yeah, we just need see some more depth out there, and people are enjoying it, making it a destination.
Yeah, I saw Brandon Frazier's name out there. in one of the classes?
Yeah, he showed up. He teamed up with Chloe Harper and Logan Shear. They ran the pro class. They did pretty good. They got top 10 overall. I think 4th or 5th in pro.
Nice. And you said that the WXC gals, did Hannah Hunter's team win?
Absolutely, yeah. Hannah Hunter, Andrea Rogers, and then your own Tori. I don't. It's something with an M. I don't know her last name.
Matisich.
Matisich, thank you. Yeah, Tori. She came out to play on the East Coast and seemed to hold her own. So
Yeah, she's coming off of an injury. So this is her first race back from getting hurt. I think round 1 at the Works race.
yeah, that's crazy. Chose an interesting one to get back to it. Get thrown back into race shape, I guess.
Well, she's a competitor. She's pretty tough, and that was a pretty rough injury for somebody that's I don't think, from what I remember of her career, I don't think that she's had that many tough injuries, and this one was pretty tough. So she had to get it taken care of. But it seems like that with better coverage, we could get more people out there. I don't think that the Kenda 9 hour is the only race that's suffering from lack of media coverage, lack of promotion. We got to do a better job at promoting all these things. And I don't know if you noticed, but there was a live stream of the ATV-MX this weekend.
I did not. I was pretty busy Saturday.
Yeah, I'm sure you were, but they live streamed Saturday and Sunday, the event, and they probably would get 500 people watching it in the normal stream. They had 11,000. It doesn't sound a lot when you compare it to Joe Rogan, but come on, this is the first time they've done it. I think that something like this needs to be done for every kind of racing. You guys already get some coverage in the afternoon race at GNCC, so let's try to figure out how to live stream some of this stuff. I'm sure Kenda could make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, they have live timing and scoring, and that seems to be kind of the standard and the culture around here right now. Is just if you have live timing and scoring, that's good enough. So yeah, maybe more series do need to step it up and start getting some type of live broadcast, even if it's a couple cameras. Like you don't even have to talk over it. Like the Heartland Challenge that had a live stream, they seem to have people talking over it and then camera stills, and yeah, you're able to watch the race while it was happening. Having that live stream, I think, brings a lot of attention to it.
Oh, I think that it's the only TV coverage we're going to get in the ATV world. We got to do something different and work it out and make it happen. What are some of the highlights that you can come up with for any of the other classes? That went on with the 9 hour.
I mean, it seemed like everybody had their ups and downs. It seemed like everybody was having issues of some sort or another, except for the top 2 teams just seemed to stay picking all day. Like my team dropped back to 5th place early. I got 2nd on the start. I led for a little bit. I let Wyatt Wilken and Stephen Harrell around on the first lap and kind of rode 3rd for the first 2 laps and tagged in Gavin. Then we unfortunately had our brake issues. And then we just rode a few more good hard laps when we were back in 3rd overall. So it seemed like everybody was having their issues, which keeps it interesting, right? And over a 9 hour race, you're going to have your issues throughout the day. And yeah, the Jeremiah Wolf, I just talked about him in the Ironman class. I think we did 24, 25 laps for the leaders. He ended up doing 21 or 22.
That's pretty good.
So he was only a couple laps down in a 9 hour day by himself.
Could he talk afterwards?
Yeah, no, he seemed to be fine, up and moving. And his team name was, what was it? 9 Hours of Jerry. I liked it. I thought that was fun.
That is a real competitor. You heard about Skeeter going 1,000 miles or almost 1,000 miles on a 350X earlier this year, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's these Ironman guys. What's going through their noodle?
that, that's just the mindset is just, I'm going to get through this. And he just seemed to stay picking. He had super consistent lap times. He was doing like 24s and 25s and 26s, and they were all just right there staying consistent and steady all day.
I know you were racing, so it was probably hard for you to watch. Did he come in and pit or stop, other than gas?
I looked through some lap times. He had 1 34-minute lap time. So he stopped for one bathroom break, one bite to eat. His team checked the bike over for him, I imagine. He got back going.
Man, what a deal. That guy, you got a hats off to him. And I would have to say he's the big winner of the whole event.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, super cool. I've always thought about doing the 9-hour. I've always thought about Ironman and a big tough event like that, but I've got a really good team right now. It's hard to split us up. So
if you were going to do that, would you do it on your Can-Am or would you do it on a sport quad?
No, sport quad for sure. 9 hours on the Can-Am does not sound. 9 hours sounds rough. It sounds a lot worse on a 4x4 than sport quad.
Nice.
If you're trying to hold pace, like if you're just going for a trail ride, yeah, the 4x4, but try and toss that thing around and keeping some amount of pace, that 4x4 will wear you out.
Yeah, I don't know if what were your lap times, when you'd go out for your laps, if you were saying you were doing 2 laps, what were your lap times?
So the leaders were running like at 23 minutes for the most part. Wyatt and Walker and maybe 1 or 2 other the pros. It's hard to see who was who on the lap times, but they were running like 22:30s, and I think somebody ran like a 22:19, just going insane. And then like that was kind of the XC1, XC2 guys were kind of running like the 23s on that track. I was running low 24s. And I could have cut a little bit off, but that was pretty much all I could give that day was 24s. So I think I could have gotten to the 23s if the track was prime. But whenever I went back out for my next set of laps, once I was ready, the track kind of blew out, and I hit like 24:30s, just where you had to tiptoe in a few spots. But yeah, I was running 24s. The rest of my 4x4 guys run like 25s.
So you're out there for roughly 45 to 50 minutes for your time. You're normally used to running 2 hours. Are you just getting in your groove and then you got to come in?
Yeah, that's kind of how it was. And you got to keep in mind, so you're going out for 50 minutes. I did the first set of laps. I was kind of getting a feel for the track. Nothing was dug in. It was like super flat, right? No berms, no nothing in the woods. So it's just kind of icy with how hard packed and dry it was, and super dusty. I did my first set of laps. I let them go. I went out for my second set of laps with some groove to the track. I was like, all right, I got an idea for how the groove is going to be. And then my next set of laps out, a lot of this track kind of gave away. So,
Okay.
so yeah, no, it's tough to go sprint for 50 minutes and then sit for an hour and a half, and then go sprint for 50 minutes and then sit for an hour and a half, and do that several times and not get super tight.
Right. And you got to stay hydrated. What was the temperature for you guys? There's been a heat wave, so on the East Coast. So how hot was it?
It was 85 and sunny. It was pretty toasty. Yeah. It was already super dry. Yeah, it was hot. It was hot.
So you guys had to deal with dust. So you thought you were on the West Coast.
Yeah, we were playing Tori came out, so
yeah, you wanted to make her feel at home, right?
Absolutely.
I was going to ask you earlier when we started the show, a couple years ago, they had a real dust issue because it was even more dusty. Drier time of the year. I don't remember all the details. Was it as bad as it was a couple years ago?
I mean, last year was, for the 9-hour itself. I mean, it's just seems to fall on a dry, dusty weekend the last couple of years. So I think 2 years ago it was worse. It was pretty dry and dusty, but the track kind of packed in. And then once night hit, there was a lot of dew on the ground, so it kind of got some moisture to the track, and you're able to slide around a little bit better. But I think the moisture at night really helped a lot. Kept the dust down at night.
Yeah, and you only get that for a couple hours.
Yeah, but like I said, it was dusty at first, and it kind of packed in. It was still dusty, but like like you could roll up on somebody if you were a little bit quicker. It wasn't like crippling dust or anything.
Okay. Okay. That makes it much more fun. You race that night. Did anybody head off to a local the next day?
Yeah, I think a few people did. I think I seen Wyatt Wilkin was practicing on their Point de Val bike at Fast Tracks the next day. And that's all I seen Wyatt of course, out racing the next day.
That's pretty awesome. But he's pretty savage. I mean, that guy's a killer. I think that Walker and Mr. Neal better watch out because he's one of those hungry young men that's coming through that XC1 Pro class, and he could take him by surprise.
Yeah, it's Mr. Dirt Nasty himself. Yeah, he like I said, he was putting down better lap times than Walker at the 9-hour. So Walker wasn't messing around. Walker put like a 23:04 at night, and I don't think anybody was hardly dipping into the 23s at all.
Well, he's getting prepared to go to Rendezvous, so he's got to get those night eyes working, and
They were working. I think he just memorized the track and knew all of the breaking points and could just close his eyes and run that kind of lap time. That's the only way you go that fast at night.
When we used to go to France more often to race Rendezvous, one of the riders that we took over there, Doug Eichner, his lap times were faster at night than they were during the day.
I had a couple of sections I felt like I was going faster at night just because you don't see the small holes as much, so you're not tiptoeing as much, and you just glide over some stuff. You're like, oh, that didn't catch like I thought it was going to.
What happens is you're not distracted. So we get distracted, or we see things on the track that really aren't there, or obstacles that really aren't going to slow us down. And, at night you don't see them. So you just keep going.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I had a couple of moments like that out there for sure.
It's a lot of fun. What do you think we can do to get more awareness for the 12-hour?
I mean, it's just finding the right places to advertise. I mean, what do you just on like Pro Motocross, buy an ad on Pro Motocross for it? That seems to be the right crowd. And Pro Motocross starting getting the ESPN scene, which I think is pretty cool, getting our name out there. They had Deegan on, a month or so ago on the ESPN morning show. And yeah, just finding outlets that find the right crowd.
Yeah, I think it's pushing the button, maybe do some live streams. There again, we could have done a pre-race. We should have done a pre-show, getting ready for it. We'll have to do better next year and make it happen.
Yeah, nope, sounds great. No, we can do it. We can do it on our end.
Excellent.
But I'm just thinking about like the series and how and like the teams in general and how for them to promote. Just what outlets can you use?
Well, I think your social media is for the ATV stuff is going to be your biggest outlet. But if we do live stream it and you get people like Joe involved, who's got a large page, we need to get Dirt Wheels involved because they have followers, and let everybody know what's going on. I'm sure Jeff would have posted about it, happening and look for it and given it some love if somebody would have reached out to him.
Yeah, and a lot of the pro guys do that. And Kenda 9-hour is a big event to a lot of the XC1 guys. The guys that take a part in the event really love it and really do try to spread the word. Like I posted about it a couple of times. I know like Walker and Wyatt and all the XC1 guys definitely said something about it before the event. So just trying to make it bigger than it already is. Taking that next step.
Right on, right on. So how long before we go back to racing in GNCC?
3 weeks. Can't believe it's already almost here again. But yeah, 3 weeks.
Are you ready?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm feeling good. I've been riding good. Yeah, no, everything's clicking on my end. We're getting ready to go back racing. Had a full frame swap over the off season, over the summer break, where I twisted my frame. I hit a rock so hard at Snowshoe.
Wow.
So we had to do a full frame swap because I twisted it. I was
Incredible.
hauling Frazier up an uphill, and he just kicked a rock out, and I had nowhere to go. It was a high-speed dragging uphill, and I had to frame out on it. And I guess that one impact just twisted everything.
You're lucky that it didn't stop you from finishing.
Oh, I'm lucky I was able to continue the uphill. I hit it so hard.
Wow.
Like I should have could have wrecked. Could have easily wrecked just the way it happened at the speed we were going, and just it was close. I definitely landed sideways.
Wow, man. Well, Cody, I thank you for coming on and talking about the Kenda 9 hours. I will do a better job promoting it. There again, I let you down by not doing our pre-race, but we'll make sure that doesn't happen again. And maybe we'll get with the representatives from Kenda and try to do a promotional package and flood the internet with the race, the entry forms. Maybe we'll get some more people out there. You have some riders that are going to be retiring from motocross, but they have the idea that they want to keep racing. So maybe some of those guys will come out and do some endurance racing, and we can talk them into forming a team and riding with you guys.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that kind of event might not sound good when you're coming out of retirement. This kind of event sounds good whenever you're in it. It's a long event. You gotta be ready for it. But yeah, no, we've been doing really good with the GNCC stuff. We just gotta start applying that to everything else we can do. So
All right, one thing before I let you go, how have the local scene been going with the amount of riders that are coming out and the events?
the local scenes around here, I mean, they've been really good. Cole Richardson came out to play this weekend. He went out to A-Works, so he came out of retirement for a race. Yeah, it seems like there's racing everywhere right now.
Well, he's going to Rendezvous.
Yeah, it's probably him getting warmed up. I halfway expect him to be on a team with Walker. So
He is.
I meant like at the 9 hour.
Oh.
So I see him post a picture of his bike, and I was like, well, this seems like 9 hour territory. He's going to Point Naval. This kind of makes sense. So I halfway expect him to be on a team with Walker, and yeah, he didn't show at the 9 hour, and then I checked Instagram later on that night, and he was ripping a fat hole shot at A-Works. So,
well, at least he's out riding again. Well, I'd love to see him back out on the circuit. I mean, I really enjoyed watching him develop, and then he was gone.
yeah, no, it definitely hurts the sport when you lose a talent like that, but gotta do what's best for you sometimes.
Well, family comes first, and he needed to be where his family was, and that I understand, he's still young enough that in a couple of years he could come back.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's got the talent for it. Like he's got speed to burn. So
Yeah, didn't he come off the couch this year and get a second, or was it last year?
I want to say it was last year, but
Yeah, they run together, don't they?
they really do, man. They really do. Yeah.
So it's just not just my old brain; it's yours too.
There's so much racing going on. I'm bad about years. Like I remember like things that have happened, but like putting them in the right place and time, that's definitely not my greatest skill.
Right on, right on. I get it, brother. Hey, again, I want to thank you so much for coming out and talking about it. We will look for next year to make sure that we can promote it better. Everybody check out the results, go to their website, Kenda 9 hours of Havok. Sorry about that. I can't talk. And you can look at the results. You can see some of the format and get an idea, get your team started for 2026. There is money to be made if you're fast enough.